So then I will just start. So yeah, the title is how to onboard the next 100 million to the blockchain, but it could be also the next billion or what number ever. The idea is how can we make it easier and better that people understand that blockchain gaming will be the next big thing and how to make it very easy for them. I myself, I'm the co-founder of Medieval Empires. We are a 13th century mid-core strategy game where you can build your empire and fight against others. We raised 7 million. We're working since 1.5 years on this game now. I will talk a little bit later about that. And blockchain gaming itself, as we all know, or maybe some know, is that we had a lot of issues in the past with games which were just not really games and not fun to play games. But the question is, why had we all these issues? And the main answer, also everyone knows, I think, already, is that it's hard to get just in a blockchain game because you need to know how to use a wallet. No one knows how to use a wallet. The games were not fun to play. You just earn money. This was the basic idea, and it was also built this way. Just how can I make a lot of money with that game, and not really how can it sustain for a longer time and be a successful game. And successful game not only makes money, but also stays for a certain time and is fun to play. And then we had all these scams happening in games and other crypto projects which did not really help the blockchain industry at all. And then also, if we talk about the in-game economy in the games itself, they were really never good because that's one of the hardest things, especially if we talk about NFTs getting into the games now, which is an on-top idea to usual games. And you need to know how to use them to don't break your in-game economy over a certain time. And then there's not really transparency. This changes a little bit, but still not transparency in games, which is okay usually, because if you have Web2 games, you don't have transparency. They're out at a certain time, small communities at the beginning who can play that. But with Web3 games, I think it's a bigger issue because of all the bad ideas people have about blockchain games. So we have all these issues, but at the same time, we also have this huge potential making or disrupting the gaming industry with blockchain gaming. And this is actually the reason why I started 1.5 years ago, because I 150% believe that blockchain gaming or owning something in a game, which sounds sometimes small for some people, is such a huge change in the gaming industry, giving more power to the players, that this will change the gaming industry. We see that the blockchain gaming market size will grow. So these are the estimations already based on the last years and on the developments happening right now. And also a lot of funding were going into blockchain projects, Web3, metaverse gaming projects. And then people always ask, yeah, so much money goes into these blockchain games, but we don't see anything. Which is very obvious, because if this money came last year and the year before into games, then it takes time to build games. Because it's not like if you build a mid-core strategy game or hardcore or AAA or whatsoever, you cannot build it in a half year or 1 year and then present a very good game to the community. It's just not possible. But this shows already, with this money flowing into good teams also, that in the future we will see a lot of good gaming titles coming on the blockchain. And then we had last year around about 1 million active wallets. It does not mean it's unique users, but it's, as you can see, is small, still small, because of the issues we have. But the on-chain transactions, they were high. So these were few people, but doing a lot on the blockchain. And also blockchain gaming has almost 50% of all transactions going on in the blockchain space worldwide. So these are also the main drivers to make blockchain more mainstream, I would say. But where I see the focus with blockchain gaming is what the former or the presenter before me also said, that if you own something in a game and you can do whatever you want with that, so we call it in our game an open player economy. This is how we want to call it, because at the end it's giving something back to the players, because they spend time and money in your game. And usually, as we know, if we do that in real life, we invest somewhere or we do anything in time, we own it, or we buy something and then we own it. And in the digital world, we don't. But with blockchain gaming, it's now very easy to make it happen that people can own it. It was also possible before with the non-blockchain technology, because it's also what is very often asked, why do we need blockchain technology? I think blockchain technology is especially made for that. That's why blockchain technology will win also in gaming. And then if we talk about token utilities, and especially also using it as some kind of payment method, will also make the adaptation in the future easier if people know how to use it, because usual gaming companies, they need to, if they need to pay out or they need to do anything in between, so let's say I want to sell something and the company is in between and then it goes to the player after that, then you have again a middleman, or you need to pay out in fiat money, which is not easy because you're maybe in certain countries, but in other countries to pay out in Africa, in some countries or wherever, it's not that easy. But with blockchain and with tokens, if you do it with that, you cut the middleman, because people can just sell their NFTs and what they own on an open marketplace, and you as a producer of the game, you still earn on that. So it's a win-win situation at the end. So the people make money with it, they really own it, and the company also earns on that too. And then if we talk about decentralization and transparency, I think this will also help. I mean, I don't think we need it for games, because at a certain time people just trust it, because in the future no one will talk about the tech behind blockchain games or anything like that. It will be very usual, people understand that, and people cannot imagine that playing a game without ownership makes any sense in the future. But now it helps, because with the transparency we can show as producers or publishers that if a user has something and owns something in the game, it's really his, and we will not steal it, and we cannot do anything with that, and they can check what we do with NFTs, what they do with NFTs very openly on the blockchain. And I think what will adapt the blockchain gaming like really strong will be if the app stores finally allow blockchain games in the app stores. There are first things happening with Axie Infinity, the light version, or there are also some other games now in app stores, but they use a bridge, so it's not directly in the app store, but you go to a website, you use a bridge. It's still too hard. It makes no sense like that, but this is the beginning, and it's fine. But we know that in-app purchases make a lot of billions worldwide, and if you can connect that and make it as easy as now in the app stores, then a lot of money inflow will come into these games also. And also with Fortnite, we see a game where we talk about, I mean, this is a perfect game for ownership, because we talk about skins. Something in the game where I have it and I'm so proud of it, like children or anyone going with his shoes or clothes outside and says, this is mine, I really like it, I want to show it off, or I don't want to show it off maybe. So this game shows, and it's so successful because of that, not only that, but also of that. And there's one number which I found interesting. They made 50 million US dollar from one set of Fortnite skins. And I think this is the potential we can see in blockchain games. If I can really own everything in the game and it's mine, then people are even more willing to spend money on it. And there are good news coming, like Cross of the Ages, I think it's the name, Cross the Ages. They are running the charts in some app stores in some countries, like in France. It's basically a blockchain game, which is on first place in the app stores in a lot of countries. But as I said, they still use a bridge to bring the whole crypto from outside to the app store, because it's not allowed directly in the app store. But this already shows it's possible. There are good quality games coming into the space. There are also other examples, obviously. And then we also see Axie Infinity is now in the iOS store. And we also see that Epic plans or is publishing more crypto games now. So what it shows is basically that I think everyone already understands from the big players, this is something what they cannot change. So it will come at a certain time. It's still slow because the whole regulation is not final, and a lot of issues still there, but this will evolve over time, and then they will be all on board. But as I said, so change takes time. This is very usual in change management or digital transformation. So my background is I worked in big companies in change management and digital transformation. And it's very usual because you have a target group of people who don't understand the change, and maybe they also don't want to change because at the moment it's maybe okay how it is, especially in companies, especially in big companies, big gaming companies. They have even in their own people, they maybe don't like Web3 gaming. So they can't just say, okay, we change it and we do the Web3 titles. They first need to change the idea of their shareholders and then of their own people in the company, and it's a very long process. But it's also a good opportunity for smaller indie studios or new studios coming on board because they can just go with that and be one of the first on the markets and make their experience. So how do we reach mainstream adoption? Mainly seeing our target group not blockchain gamers, but Web2 gamers. Because I said 2022, it was like 1 million active users. In March, we had 740,000 users. It's not a lot. Yes, it will be more in the future, but if you want to have a successful game, a big game, if you want to make money, your target group can't be Web3 players. It's a good additional target group, especially at the beginning, to start off a game, because it's easier, because the competition in Web3 gaming is smaller compared to Web2 gaming, because every day you see like hundreds of games coming into the market, and to compete with them is very hard. But in Web3 gaming, it's a little bit easier because you don't have that much. And then make it very easy for people to pay and to take part in your game, basically. So just have a login with Facebook, with Google. People can start your game and just experience your game. It sounds so simple, but it is so simple. And there are solutions out here from Immutable X, from other blockchains, from other providers. They already allow that you create a game, and then in the back end, the wallet is already created for the user, and they can just play the game, and there are also on-ramp solutions already there with credit card. It's there. It's not working in every country worldwide right now, but in a lot of countries, so we just need to use it. And then make people excited to play your game. So really make it fun to play. I know everyone is saying that right now, but I think we can't say it often enough, because this is the basic idea of gaming. I want to have fun in that. And of course, earning is a good thing and owning is a good thing. But if I don't implement a good mechanic that people have fun playing it, then my game will be not a long-term success for sure. And then what a lot of crypto games don't do, I talk to a lot of founders and co-founders, and if we talk about legal and security, they don't care. They don't have even lawyers in place. They just start something and building a game or anything, and they don't think about the future, what can happen if something is wrong in the game right now. So it can be shut down in the future. And the last thing here I want to mention is, and I think it's also obvious now, is regulation. Because we see in the US and also in other countries that regulation is getting stronger, and it's never too early right now to, for example, register yourself with the FINMA in Switzerland or other organizations that your token is, for example, a utility token and not a security. This will help you later on if the regulation comes and they tell you, okay, your token is a security, that at least you have something in your hand and you can say, okay, we let it check by an authority, and they said it's a utility token. So this will help in the future. So that's basically how I think that we can reach mass adoption of blockchain gaming. It's not really hard. I think it's more a time thing, and obviously we need to be clever. And in medieval empires, all what I talked about, we exactly use that. So we think about regulation, we think about, we have a lawyer team, we think about how to onboard people very easy. It's a free-to-play game, you can just come in. It's not out yet, but we will provide a wallet for you if you come in. So it's very easy to enter, and you can own everything in the game. This is how it looks like. We have a town view where you can build your town. We have a province view where you can attack invaders and get resources. And we have a world map where we start in Turkey, or in old Turkey, where the Turkish tribes and the English crusaders fight against each other. And then we expand the map over time based on user interest. If you would see a lot of people in China, for example, having interest, we would open the map in China and add a Chinese medieval army coming into the game. and we would do that as often as until the whole world is the battlefield. And the last thing is early access 2 is out since today. We have 1,000 to 2,000 players we want to let in for now. It's just a closed alpha version, we call it. So there are still some whitelist spots available. Our marketing manager says yes. So if you talk to this guy with this white shirt and you want to have a whitelist spot, then maybe it could be possible to still get something. I think they're not a lot open, but maybe some of them. So yeah, that's my presentation. Thank you very much.